Hey YouTube friends, welcome back to my channel. A little bit more about myself. I keep trying to set up a space here where I have some privacy, where the videos look a little bit more presentable. It's just not working out. So here I go. Again, I'm Dawn. I'm 60 years old, I'm retired, and I have lichen sclerosus. I thought this video I would start with my diagnosis of lichen sclerosus, how it all came about. So again, I was diagnosed during COVID, and at that time, I was a social worker at a personal care home, and I was just becoming very uncomfortable. My skin was very irritated. Let me start with lichen sclerosus. So lichen sclerosus is a inflammatory skin condition. It's chronic. It doesn't go away. To be diagnosed, ideally you need a biopsy, which I did have. When I was diagnosed, the doctor who diagnosed me thought I had been having symptoms for many years and probably didn't know what it was, which I didn't. But then the symptoms became very severe. So lichen sclerosus, it does present in the vulva perianal area. There's a core set of symptoms. Basically what started to happen is I just became, it was just like a hot rash down there. Didn't know what to do. Again, the doctors couldn't examine me during COVID, thought it was a yeast infection, were prescribing me creams. Nothing was working. During COVID, there was a time I worked at home for 3 weeks, and again, it was just awful. I was Googling, didn't know what it was, trying all of these other remedies, creams. I was going to the pharmacy to pick up something over the counter. Nothing was working. I literally thought I was going crazy. Is this all in my mind? I don't know what it is. When I was able to get into the doctor, he didn't know what it was. But good on him. He sent a referral to another doctor at the same clinic. I got in to see her 3 weeks later. She was really good. She examined me right away. She said, I think it's lichen sclerosus, but you need a biopsy, because if it's not lichen sclerosus, you would treat it differently. The word lichen sclerosus went right over my head. I've never heard the word before. I got home. The only thing I was worried about was the biopsy. It was scheduled for 2 weeks later, to the day. When I went in for I went to the ER. It was very, it really wasn't as awful as I thought it was. They did do a little bit of numbing. They did a punch biopsy, and I asked her again about what she thought it was. She said the word lichen sclerosus again. She said she would let me know, probably would be a week or two. And I think it was like 2 weeks to the exact same day she called me, and yeah, I had lichen sclerosus. She scheduled an appointment for me. I think that was a Wednesday. She scheduled an appointment for me for the Monday. Went over what lichen sclerosus is. You do treat it with a very strong steroid cream. And when you do start on this steroid cream, it's like the gold standard, this steroid cream. Usually anybody who has lichen sclerosus, that's what they get. And you start off, I believe I started off the first month or so, I had to put it on, apply it 2 times a day. Maybe it was longer than a month. I can't remember. Could have even been 3 months. And then you start to gradually back off. For maintenance, I use it 3 times a week. So that is what I use. I would say the first year, for sure, after being diagnosed, maybe even the second year, was truly a struggle. It was awful. Because even though you're taking this steroid, again, everybody's symptoms are different. There's some people that have lichen sclerosus and they don't have any discomfort. They don't have any of the classic signs. With lichen sclerosus, your risk of cancer increases, I think, by 4 or 5%. So you really do have to manage it. I was just so uncomfortable. I like when I say uncomfortable, it was like a painful raw rash that I just, there would be a day where it would be good, but then the flare-ups would happen just instantly. I could wake up in the morning feeling fine. By that evening, it would just be very painful. And again, it's in a very intimate part of your body. So it's not that easy to talk about with other people. And other people aren't very receptive in talking about it. Um, I'm much better now in discussion regarding that. Here I am on YouTube talking about it. Again, I was able to, I had to experiment a lot with care for myself, the creams I was using, the barrier creams, um, my lifestyle. There are a lot of things I have had to change. I pretty well do everything, but I have to modify a lot of what I do, and I can get into that later in another video. One thing I haven't done since I was diagnosed was ride a bike. I used to ride a bike all the time. I have not been on a bike. I would love to go to a spin class, but I don't. I don't want to take the chance. I do have a bike in my garage. I may take it out sometime and just try it out. Anyway, it's been what, since COVID? It's been what, 5, 6 years since I was diagnosed. It's much more manageable now. Um, Things have changed.